What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Goat Talk. We are officially back. Our technical difficulties are solved. Contract agreements have been resolved, and we're back. Let's go.
We are back. Thankfully, all the technical difficulties are besides us. Greg's contracted back, ready to go.
The
It was a big
lockout's over.
deal.
The lockout's over, boys.
Lockout's over, and here we are just in time for playoff football as well. A lot of other things going on in the sports world, but the main focus primarily over the next couple of weeks is going to be playoff football. So I don't know where to even start. Obviously, we took a little bit of a hiatus, but we're back, and I think it's only fair to start off with the biggest games coming up next week, which are matchups for the divisions, two of them being last spots for playoffs. And I think the first game just will start off in the AFC, Pittsburgh and the Ravens. So what are we thinking there in that game coming up here on, I believe, Sunday night? It'll be game 272.
It depends if Lamar is playing.
X Factor.
Because if Lamar is playing, but given they just beat the Packers without Lamar, but it was Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry beat the Packers. That's what
Would he
happened.
have how many yards? Like 240?
Over 200 with what?
4
4
touchdowns. He had
Ridiculous.
one of the best games I've seen.
So it's going to be interesting to see if Lamar plays or not. And then on the Steelers side, I mean, you could just see this past week, given Cleveland has a good defense, we've talked about that multiple times, but just how bad that offense looked without having DK out there. And he's gone this game too. He's got 2-game suspension.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to take a pick, I'm taking the Ravens.
I agree with that.
I think it's very 50-50 because, like you're saying, if Lamar doesn't play, we don't know what we're going to get out of their quarterback position. But I do think that X factor, like Greg was saying earlier, is Derrick Henry. Because if he gets on that role that he was last week, and it's been like a very up and down year for Derrick Henry, I feel like fumble issues where like you never really thought that was possible out of him. But then also just the usage is weird right now for that team. I think with Lamar getting implemented back in, you kind of thought that would create more space for him. But I also don't think the Steelers front really has an answer if Derrick Henry truly does get going, because Aaron Rodgers is going to do Aaron Rodgers things. If they can protect Aaron Rodgers, then he'll be fine. But I agree with you, Joey, as well. DK not being out there. I mean, he's your wide receiver one. No ifs, ands, or about
He's their
doubts about it.
only receiver.
Exactly, right? And so, but I think the X factor is going to be if that line can do something with Derrick Henry. Because if Derrick Henry has the game that he had this past weekend, it's over before the first half, I think.
Yeah. And it's huge if TJ Watt's playing or not.
Absolutely.
That's what I was just going to say too.
Mm.
Yep. Yeah. So everyone thinks Ravens. Chris, you're 50-50 on depending on how the game goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it depends who's playing. I mean, we don't know if Lamar, if Lamar's good to go, like I think he's going to be. Like if he's good to go, Derrick Henry's on his game. I think they're extremely difficult to beat. The Steelers, I mean, they're. It's another thing with like right if he's not there, so that's enormous. I think it's the Ravens to lose. I don't know who's home though. Do you?
Steelers.
Okay, I mean, I don't know if it makes much of a difference, to be honest with you, but
not anymore.
With Lamar and Derrick Henry, that I know that it's just going to free up other people so much tremendously because they got to legit watch out for 2 running backs now.
Yeah.
I think no matter what, whether Huntley plays or Lamar plays, they win the game. I just think the Ravens right now are more a complete team. And you look at, we've talked about it across the board, last couple of weeks, you see Mahomes goes down. Chiefs are a completely different team. The way, though, that the Ravens operate, whether Lamar's in there or Tyler Huntley, I'm going to go off on a limb and say, I don't feel like there's that much difference. Yes, Lamar gives you a little bit more X factor, but the way the offense operates, I really don't think it's that much more of a difference. He can throw the ball. He's still got the athleticism. He can run. And then depending on Derrick Henry, because even Lamar, when he's playing, if he's not as active or Derrick Henry doesn't have as good of a game, that offense doesn't operate at all.
I agree.
Similarly with Huntley. So I really don't think the quarterback play for the Ravens is going to deter whether they win the game or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think, like I said, I think the Ravens are going to win. I'm going to be rooting for the Steelers, though, because Bills playoff matchups, somehow, some way, if it were to come down to that, I'd much rather play the Steelers than the Ravens. That's my opinion.
That's fair.
Oh,
that's
so
fair.
Selfishly, yeah. I mean, that's valid. Ravens think more dangerous.
Yeah.
2 Saturday night games again in week 18, both up for divisions. One of them for the number 1 seed in the NFC. First, we'll go to the Panthers and Tampa game. We were sitting on here early when this podcast started. Baker Mayfield, potentially MVP conversation. Tampa, are they going to do it?
Nope.
Whoever wins that game now is going to finish the division. Well, I guess Tampa, if they win the game, they win the division, they'll have a under 500 record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they would win the division. So that being said, and also I did see something earlier, which was crazy because they're technically eliminated from the playoffs, but the Falcons, I think, could win the division still.
So they can't win the division.
Oh, they can't?
So if they win both weeks, Carolina, Tampa, Atlanta, they all finish with an 8-9 record.
Okay.
If that were to happen, the Panthers have the better divisional record, so they get the spot.
Okay. But I knew the Falcons had some play.
The weak division.
They could finish with the same record as their divisional winner.
Yeah.
And they've been eliminated for weeks.
I mean, yeah. So the Falcons right now are 6-9. The Saints are 6-10 at the bottom of the division. Like, that is such a booty cheeks division when we totally thought that the Buccaneers were. I remember I was like, Baker's MVP, and this team is dangerous. The fall from grace that this team has had, which is so weird because it feels like they've actually gotten healthier.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like, you had Mike Evans return, and then I think in, like, the same return game, he broke his collarbone, then he was out. But then the past couple weeks, he came back, and it just seems like, I don't know what's going on necessarily. I don't know if it's Baker. I don't know if it's coaching. I don't know if it's just lack of, like, young talent besides, like, Egbuka. But it's very weird how, as they've actually gotten their studs back from injuries and everything like that, that they've progressively and, like, seriously have gotten worse. I have no idea what happened.
I think after that Todd Bowles press conference, they lost the locker room. Like, the locker room was gone after that.
Yeah.
Because that was after a Sunday night game. I think that was after it was after a primetime game. It might have been it was either Thursday, Sunday, or Monday night. And he, like, went off social media, like, and then ever since that they've lost 4 in a row. So we'll see.
I mean, we're about to be in January. We're about to be in the new year. So it's gonna be 3 months. They've won 1 game since October. And they're gonna
crazy.
Potentially be in the playoffs.
Weren't they 6-0?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were 6-0 at one point, right? So besides the 1 game, they've pretty much lost out since that 6-0 start.
Yeah. Since October, they have won 1 game, which is crazy.
Not like the division's good.
No, it's not. I think, to answer your question, Sal, I think the Panthers win this game. I said it before the season started. My bold take of the year was that the Panthers will win this division. We'll obviously do this months in advance, but next year, watch out for the Saints because Tyler Shuck looks good. Kid looks good.
They're going to have to build around him for sure. Yeah, it'll be interesting. Then you go to the Saturday night game. Sam Darnold, 2 years in a row, has the opportunity to lock up the number 1 seed on the road again. It's 13-3. It is going to be interesting to see how that game plays out. San Francisco, they win. They have the opportunity to have home field advantage all the way through the Super Bowl. What are we thinking about the game?
Deja vu. Literally deja vu from, like you just said. Sam Darnold has the same exact opportunity with a different NFC team, same conference and everything, which is crazy. I think the Niners win this game. It's kind of crazy how good they've been all year with the amount of injuries they've had. And I mean, given I think it was the first quarter yesterday. I don't know if you guys watched that game. I think it was the first quarter where they lost their star tackle.
Yeah, Trent Williams.
Trent Williams, yes. But so hopefully he's back next week. But even Brock Purdy missed 8 games this year. Kittle missed 6. Fred Warner's been out for about 2 months now. All these injuries, and they're still just a dominant team. I think they win this game. I also think, I don't know which team it's going to be, but I think the Super Bowl winner comes out of that division.
I could see that. I think that's the best division in football. Like,
Super Bowl winner.
I don't think it is. I know it
Super Bowl winner.
I could see that.
Super Bowl winner. Rams, Seahawks, 49ers.
Division's
one of them
so
winning.
Loaded.
If the Niners get the 1 seed, they're home literally the entire playoffs if they make the Super Bowl because it's at their stadium. They will have home field advantage the entire playoffs.
It's so funny to look at that division, the NFC West, though, because you have the Seahawks, 49ers, Rams, and then the Cardinals have 3 wins. Like every single one of those teams has over 10 wins, and then all of a sudden it's the Cardinals.
That's the punching bag.
Yeah, I think 49ers win this game. I think it's going to be another shootout because it's just those 2 type of offenses that will just throw the ball down the field, just throw bombs down the field, and they'll score a ton of points. I think the 49ers, I think it'll be a lot like the Bears game that we just saw them win. Brock Purdy's going to put it on his back. And I think, he's looked really good since he's come back from the injury. But, Sam Darnold's so hit or miss, I feel like. For a majority of the season, he's been lights out. But then he has those games where he kind of comes back down to reality a little bit. But I do think the 49ers edge this out in another probably 40-plus point shootout.
And what's crazy too is their both teams are on a 6-game win streak right now. Like both of them are firing all cylinders. I think the X factor, kind of like some of the other games, is pretty obvious in this game. It's how McCaffrey's feeling, in my opinion. I think McCaffrey's an X factor, obviously. Yesterday he was kind of banged up. I watched the game. He was out of gas, but he did a lot for that team. I think that if he's going, because he's going to get double teamed all game no matter what. We know that. But I think if he's going, it's kind of a game changer. I think San Fran's going to win too, bottom line.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. I think the biggest thing is with Seattle is they have a lot of, defensively, they have grit. The thing with Sam Darnold is you look at the last 2 months of football, and he's been doing just enough to win you a game. He hasn't done anything flashy. It hasn't been 4 touchdown games. Was some fumbles yesterday, a couple of interceptions. If you get Sam Darnold rattled, he will not play well. Now, what we haven't seen him do was what he did against the Rams a couple weeks ago and come back with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, win the game. Great game, great, majority of the game that he was able to play. What I do think, though, is that I think this could also end up potentially being whoever wins this game doesn't make it to the Super Bowl. Does not. Because the last couple of games that each of these teams will have had to play are going to be a lot. And I think mentally, you're going into these games putting everything. You look at the flip side of the coin yesterday with Chicago, I still think Caleb Williams has a lot to grow within being a quarterback. There's some missed throws, unfortunate opportunities, and I think the way that game went yesterday, a lot of emotion, you're on a short week, even though you're back at home, I think either one of 2 things is going to happen. Either Seattle's going to come in and they're going to blow the doors off San Francisco, or I think it's going to be the opposite, and San Francisco is going to blow the doors off Seattle. I don't think it's going to be a back-and-forth game. I don't necessarily think it's going to be close. I think whoever wins this game is by 2 scores.
Is San Fran home for this game?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the winner of this game gets the 1 seed, though, right?
Correct.
Of the whole league, right?
Which is tremendous because that gives them that extra week of rest after coming off this gauntlet of a schedule.
It is, but it isn't. Look at the Lions last year, right? Like Lions had a gauntlet schedule at the end, played a similar game, except it was the Sunday night game against Minnesota, and get walked against Washington, a wild card team who had no business beating them. So I just would say be on the lookout, because if the Rams come into play either of those teams, it's over.
I think Stafford's the best QB in that. I think he might be the best QB in the league this year, honestly.
So
he's going to win MVP. In my opinion, he should win MVP.
He should win
MVP.
MVP.
I agree with
that. If Seattle wins this game and they get that 1 seed, Seattle's a tough place to play.
Oh, it's terrible.
It would not be easy going into Seattle and beating that team, especially maybe not so much Darnold, because it's interesting. We're going to find out how he's going to play after we saw him explode in the playoffs last year. But their defense is legit.
Yeah.
So going to Seattle with that 12th man, I'm excited for it. The Bills already clinched the playoffs, and I'm more excited to watch the NFC playoffs.
I will say, Joey, I think to your point earlier that you made, the winner would go to the Super Bowl. I think if Seattle has the 1 seed, they are way more likely to have the home field advantage and make it rather than San Fran. I think people can come into San Francisco and win a lot easier than they can in Seattle, which is why I'm saying if San Fran wins this game, I could easily see a Rams team, or even maybe if Chicago had the opportunity to go back there and knock them off, in a game.
Yeah. Well, I could see. So not the winner of the game, the winner of that division. So it could be the Rams, Seahawks, or 49ers.
Yeah.
I could easily see the Rams making the Super Bowl again, easily.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. A lot of interesting matchups, and we'll break it down all next week. At this point, we'll know. But now we flip to the AFC side of, well, we really did AFC, NFC, but the last AFC division that's up for grabs is Jacksonville and Houston in the AFC South. I believe Houston plays. I don't know who Houston plays, but Jacksonville plays the Titans. I know that.
Houston plays the Colts.
Houston plays the Colts. Yeah.
Okay. So
both are home, I believe.
I mean, now if they both win, who gets the division? Do we know? Like if they both win the game,
Jacksonville. They're 12-4. Houston's 11-5.
Jacksonville. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are playing Tennessee. So
as long as they win the game, they win the division. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. So I think both of those teams are very scary right now. They're getting hot. Yeah. They're playing well.
Terrified.
I give Houston the edge.
Oh my God, yeah.
But
Houston has probably the best defense in the league.
Houston's a team that if they don't win and they have a wild card game on the road, they could easily go into Denver and win. If Denver's or New England.
Absolutely.
Or New England and win.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think that I feel like Jacksonville's season's not really being talked about.
No, it's not.
Like I don't know. It's because maybe I'm not watching as much ESPN and NFL Network as I normally do, but I just feel like I'm not hearing the Jaguars be talked about like they should be. They're a very good team. Trevor Lawrence is playing out of his mind.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think
Jacoby Myers pick up at the deadline.
I think the one thing with Jacksonville that I think a lot of people are nervous about is similarly, you see all these first-year coaches go into playoffs. The team doesn't have any experience, right? Like, Trevor, like college playoffs is different than NFL playoffs. We know that. So I think there's a little bit of hesitancy with the lack thereof playoff experience. Obviously, Liam Cohen, probably a coach of the year candidate, definitely should be a coach of the year candidate. They went from 4 wins last year to they may have 12 or 13 by the end of this week. And, I think that's probably why there's a little bit of hesitancy, because I think that Houston, if they played each other right now, Houston would win the game, not only with the playoff experience, but with the defense. I think also Jacksonville's defense, even though they played really well 2 weeks ago against Denver, I think there's a little bit of hesitancy with their defense as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But now I think if the Jaguars win this game, and I think they would probably need the Patriots and Broncos to lose, but they potentially could get the number 1 seed.
I don't know if they can anymore with New England winning the other day, with New England winning yesterday, because I don't know because if New England loses, I think they have the better record. Or they'd have
so
a tied
for them
record.
to get the one, it's a long shot. They need the Jaguars need to win. They're going to most likely beat the Titans.
Yeah.
They need the Broncos to lose, the Patriots to lose, and if all that happens, they would all be 13-4, and Jacksonville would win the tiebreaker,
Okay.
and they would get the number 1 seed.
But all the teams
is it because they have a better divisional record?
Probably.
I think it's because they're not really in the
Because
same
we
division.
play
I think it goes
Miami
down to
this week.
conference record
Mm.
because they're
we
not in the
play
same
Miami.
division.
Yeah.
They have they're 9-2 in conference right now, so they have a
Yeah,
really
I think
good
it's
record,
a conference
which
record.
is better than
Okay,
both
that's
the
what it is.
Patriots
Yeah.
and the Broncos.
And I think the Patriots, I think the Broncos, I mean, I think all three teams are probably going to win because the Chargers already said they're resting Justin Herbert. He ain't playing. I don't know. I mean, Quinn Ewers has nothing to lose besides spoil the Patriots season. Not season, but, chances of the 1 seed. And, Jackson, and I mean, neither does Cam Ward. They have nothing to lose. And they honestly didn't look too bad this week, the Titans. I mean, granted, they played the Saints. I'm not saying that they played a good team. They could put some points on the board, though. So we'll definitely see what happens on Saturday and Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, hey, before we go any further, if the Patriots and the Broncos both win their games, who's the number 1 seed? I don't know if we went over that or not. Because they both have the same conference record and the same divisional record.
I think the Broncos get it.
Why?
I think that it probably goes to strength of schedule or who knows.
Or would it go to
what after that.
differential in points?
I don't know.
It might be
curious, 'cause they have the
strength of
exact same-
schedule.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just okay because that's like a interesting thing to think about because they have the exact same record, the same divisional record, and the same conference record.
So the Broncos could. The easiest path is for them to beat the Chargers. A victory guarantees the number 1 seed regardless of other results.
Okay.
It doesn't say why. But yeah, so basically they win, they get the number 1 seed. I'm not really sure why.
Neither am I.
Probably strength of schedule if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
But playoffs.
And we ain't winning that one. We ain't winning that one.
Well,
you're welcome, buddy.
If the season ended this week, there's no other week. Playoffs start next week. We're looking at the Bills traveling to New England for the rubber match.
We're gonna get spanked.
I think it's gonna be a dogfight.
I don't think we would spank you guys by any means. Given yesterday, our defense looked good in the second half, but
I think it just depends on who's healthy on the line, and if in fact you do get Will Campbell and you do get like Robert Spillane back, because Spillane hasn't played in like 4 weeks. Obviously Campbell has been out for a while with that sprain in the knee. They said, I really haven't heard much on like the status for the playoffs. But obviously we have another week for him to get back into the swing of things and hopefully be ready for the playoffs. But I think it is a huge deal that I think we're not, especially around my fan base anyways, where it's not talked about enough on like what his status actually is, because no matter who, like it's the NFL playoffs, no matter who you're playing, they're going to play hard because they're like, okay, this is our chance, right? We're in the playoffs, whether it be Jacksonville, Houston, the Bills, it could be anybody. But I think he is such a very important part. And if he's not included in any of the playoff games, that is a huge advantage for the other team. Huge.
Yeah.
Also,
I don't
think
have very high hopes.
Bills, I don't know if the Bills could potentially move up or down where they went. They can't, right?
Because
so
Houston
if I'm the Bills,
beat
Josh Allen should not play next week.
Didn't Houston beat them?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can't move up.
Yeah.
So
Josh Allen should not play next week.
So they're either playing New England, Jacksonville, or Detroit. I'm not Detroit, Denver. They're either playing one of those.
There's no easy option.
If I'm a Bills fan, which Joey is, but if I'm a Bills fan, I would want to either play New England or Denver. I don't want to go to Jacksonville. And the reason I say that is because the Bills this year, and I don't mean this in a bad way, but just the last couple of weeks, they're a 1/2 team. They play really well in 1/2, and yesterday was a fourth quarter 10-minute team. It wasn't even 3 quarters. You go into Denver or New England and play that way, it's over. it's not even going to be close. You go into Jacksonville and play that way, I think you have a chance because I don't think Jacksonville could put up as many points. Their run game is not as good as the Bills' run game, and I think it would just come down to like a time thing.
Mm-hmm.
That I think if you're a Bills fan, you want to play Jacksonville.
I'd want to play New England.
I agree with Joey 100%.
100%. Probably.
The reason why is because we've literally seen the exact scenario that you just talked about. Like we were up 21 points on the Bills. Like they were nowhere to be seen on the football field. But then I think you want to play New England, and the reason why I say that is because you have such a young group of guys besides like Steph Diggs who have been in the playoffs. But even with Trevor Lawrence, like he's won how many national championships? Did he win 2 or 1?
I think he won. Trevor, I think won 2.
I think at most 2, not more than 2.
Yeah.
2, right? So again, we're not saying that the college football playoff is the same as the NFL playoff, but the dude also knows how to win. And he knows how to win those big games. Again, whether it translates over to the NFL, but like Drake May, I mean, he's been fantastic all year. I'm not trying to knock his game, but I almost think there's just not enough experience in the locker room. And you're talking about New England at home, which hasn't been the best thing for the Patriots this year. Like they're undefeated on the road. I'm pretty sure they've been dominant on the road. So if I'm the Patriots, and again, I don't exactly know off the top of my head what will make it happen, but do you argue the fact that maybe you don't want the home field advantage and maybe you do want to go on the road?
No.
Yeah, but you're
Yeah,
going to
I'm
just
not,
throwing it out.
absolutely not.
I'm just throwing it out.
But you're going to get a home game no matter what. And in my opinion, if you're 2 playing Buffalo at 7, I'd much rather have Buffalo come in than Houston at 3. Because if you drop down to 3, because if you drop down to 3, if you lose and Jacksonville and the Broncos win, now you're in the 3 and you're playing Houston.
And you don't get a bye.
I do not want that.
Is there any situation where the Patriots? Because I know there was a situation where the Patriots don't have a home game.
No,
but I don't know if
they won the division.
We beat the Jets. I don't.
No, you won the division, so you automatically get
so
one.
we'll automatically get the okay.
Yeah.
So you want to buy.
You do and you don't, though. Like the way the NFL playoffs now are set up, with only having one team get the bye, I almost feel like you don't like. Yeah, it's great to have the bye. It's nice. Get healthy. Don't play a guy. But like, let's say, you play. Let's say the Broncos get a bye this week, and Bo Nix now hasn't played in a week. You see what that has done to teams. Like it almost sometimes is better if you just continue to play. And because if you're the number 2 seed and you win, you're technically getting 2 home games, and you could get 3 if the one loses. So almost being the number 2 is a little bit better because you're playing the 7 team, which doesn't matter. It's still.
But you have momentum. You have
momentum,
yes.
And then if you win, you're playing again at home.
Yeah.
And you still have a chance of winning, playing all 3, because if the number 1 team gets knocked off, you're hosting the championship. So like being the 2 is not the worst place. It's actually I think better than being the 1 in today's NFL.
Absolutely.
Now being the 1 or the 2 10 years ago when it was, just 6 teams didn't matter because both teams got the bye. Now though, the 2 I think has so much more weight than the 1, because we've seen since they've switched to this playoff format, the number 1 seed has got knocked off before the championship.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 2 has the home field and they usually win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. It's gonna be real fun.
I mean, you're in the playoffs, right? So, and we talked about it, and it's like there's pros and cons of being in the playoffs, because what you want to win the Super Bowl, even if you're in and you lose a game, it's just as bad as if you didn't make it to the playoffs. But like, you're in the dance, you have a chance, and you get to see your team play another week. Greg's been golfing since week 7, but
7 about week 3.
No, you weren't eliminated yet.
Mentally I was.
So I don't know. We'll see. But does anybody have anything else that they want to talk about before we log off?
Did we not mention the Buccaneers and Panthers yet?
We did.
We did.
We talked about that first.
You're right. My bad. Okay. I apologize.
Yep, we did. We did. But Greg, do you have a bald bet?
I do.
I know
That's
it's
why
back in action, but we didn't know if
I
we
kind
were
of
gonna
brought
have
it
one.
up because of that. So we're back. I need a haircut to make it bald again, but we're here. Bald bet of the week. Really similar to what I just mentioned with the Panthers and the Buccaneers. I'm ball bet Buccaneers lose that division to the Panthers. I think the Buccaneers have absolutely just free falled from the top. Right? We said now it's gone back. We mentioned 6-0 before, right? Absolutely have stumbled since then. Panthers,
Yeah.
I like them. They're a young team. They're fun to watch. Bryce Young has a lot of potential. I really believe, right? This is
Who would have thought?
their division. No,
Who
nobody
would
would have thought. They've been so bad for a long time.
Let's just put into
I would have thought.
perspective. Let's just put in perspective here too. Whoever wins that division, Carolina or Tampa, is locked in for a home game at the 4, plays the 5, which could either be Seattle, San Fran, or the Rams. Right now it's San Fran. Right now it's San Fran, but it will be, no matter what, an NFC West team that they will be playing. Now, what I will say to that is, if Carolina wins, I think they could knock off one of those teams. They've played them all, and they played them all close. They actually beat the Rams.
They beat the Rams, right?
They
Yeah.
did. They did.
So
Would it be a home? No, it wouldn't be a home
Yeah.
game for them.
Yes,
would
it
be
would
a
be.
home
They
game
won.
for
They won
them.
the
Yeah, 'cause
division.
they won the
You win the
division.
Yeah, they
division.
won the division.
Yeah.
Shit.
So I almost think that if the
Wow.
Panthers win this game, there's a very real possibility an NFC West team could be eliminated. Like, they've beaten them and they played them well. They even played Seattle well yesterday, up for most of the game.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy how a 13-win team is going to have to travel on the road to a
you're
potential
telling me,
9-win
Chris.
team.
Yeah, you're telling
Fucking
me.
crazy.
Yeah, the
Yo,
Vikings had to go to
so-
Arizona last year.
Yes, this is something that I wanted to bring up real quick because we talked about this. You just reminded me because we were saying how if Tampa wins the division, they could win the division with a losing record.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you guys think? I don't see it ever happening, but if the NFL got rid of divisions and just went conference, top 7, top 8, make it no divisions.
I don't think they will get rid of division, but I could see them getting rid of the seedings, like in terms like NBA kind of standards. Like there's different divisions, but they still seed the playoffs 1 through 8 based on records purely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. Yep.
I wouldn't
Because
mind that.
it's kind of crazy that a losing record team, it pretty much happens every year. There's one division that has a winner that just skates into the playoffs, and they're hosting a home playoff game when a 12, 13-win team is traveling.
Yeah. Here's the
It's
other thing
crazy.
too, though. Like, it's crazy to me because, like, and I guess I'm partially biased, but like, if the Vikings win Sunday against Green Bay, they're 9-8. They have a above 500 record, and then the Packers have the tie in there. If they didn't have the tie and the Vikings had one more win, Sunday would be for the 7th spot. I also think they eliminate teams way too early because if the Vikings win, I mean, statistically, they're not going to have a better record because of the tie. But let's say if they did and they were already eliminated and they have a better record and they split the series, why would they not be the 7th team? You know, like they eliminate, and now you'd win 5 games in a row. So I also think they got to look at these eliminations because even Atlanta, you eliminate them now early. And like theoretically, if they're all 8 and 9, yes, Carolina has the better record, but let's say there's a tie in there, they shouldn't have been eliminated. You know what I mean? So it's like, are some teams eliminated too early when you don't know what could happen?
But then it goes to like divisional record and stuff like that. That's why if everybody finishes 8 and 9, the Panthers move
correct.
on
But I'm saying, like,
because of
let's
that.
say though, if Atlanta had the same divisional record and this weekend, no matter what, wouldn't have mattered. Now, like, what do they go? Oh shit, Atlanta was already eliminated. So what do we uneliminate them? You know what I mean? Like, let's say, I'm sure there's
Yeah.
somebody in the NFL like dialing it up. But I'm just saying,
there's like after division record, it goes to conference record. After conference record, I think it goes to strength of schedule. Like there's always some sort of tiebreaker that they have tied in.
I'm just saying though, I think sometimes it's a little early, premature. I'm not, because like if there is even a chance, you're leaving potentially teams out. They're probably not because of somebody, like I said, is watching everything, but it's one of those things too that I think this is why the NFL is great and there's so much fluidity every year. Because again, there's 6 new teams in the playoffs this year that weren't in it last year.
Love it.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So that's all, folks.
I don't know. Nervous for playoffs.
I'm not.
Greg, you haven't in a long ass time, my friend.
Since middle school, baby.
There was a CBS graphic. There was a CBS graphic. It was like Jets in the 6th spot at 10-5, and it was like the year the Patriots were like a number 1. It was like back in 2010 was the last time the Jets
baby, Bart Scott.
were in the Jets.
Yeah.
So, but Joey closes out.
All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this week. Appreciate everybody coming back and tuning in. If you're new here, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We're officially back. Like I said earlier, technical difficulties are gone. Contracts are agreed upon. We're fully back. We're also still live on TikTok every Thursday night for Thursday Night Football and Sunday mornings. Fantasy season has come into an end, but we'll still be live, just talking games, talking playoffs, Super Bowl matchups. And with that being said, stay tuned. We have some exciting Super Bowl news, so stay tuned for that. Go Bills.
Go Pats.